The OnePlus S6T, which is the first to feature the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, comes with a massive 5800 mAh battery, an excellent 165Hz gaming flat display, and even a Genshin Impact Kamisato Ayaka Custom Edition. You could say it's a very competitive contender at the end of the year. Previously, we were among the first to test its impressive battery life. Now it's time to evaluate its overall capabilities in terms of performance, display, and camera to see if it truly delivers the balanced flagship experience that its on-paper specs suggest. The biggest highlight of the OnePlus S6T in terms of performance is that it is the first to feature the deeply co-developed Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Just from the name, you can tell that it shares the same lineage as the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 3, both using TSMC's N3P process, Qualcomm's third-generation Orion CPU architecture, and the brand-new Adreno GPU architecture. All of these are more advanced than the previous generation's Snapdragon 8 Elite, so in theory, energy efficiency should also see improvements. In terms of core specifications, it still features Qualcomm's flagship exclusive 2+6 all-big core design, consisting of 2 Orion L ultra-large cores and 6 Orion M efficiency cores. Here are the benchmark scores. As for network connectivity, it remains consistent with the Snapdragon 8 Elite. The OnePlus S6T offers up to 16 GB of LPDDR5 X Ultra memory and ETB UFS 4.1 storage. This combination is more than sufficient to meet usage needs for the next 2 to 3 years. The OnePlus S6T is equipped with an all-new Glacier cooling system, with a total heat dissipation area of up to 43,940 square millimeters, and integrates the next-generation Wind Chase gaming engine into the core of the 5th generation Snapdragon 8 chip. So let's skip the chatter and get straight to the real-world tests. First up is Honor of Kings, running at 120 frames per second with ultra graphics. The frame rate is perfectly stable with an average power consumption of 3.7 watts, and the highest temperature on both the front and back is only around 38 degrees Celsius. Effortless, just as expected. Moving on to the more demanding Genshin Impact, we did half an hour of exploration and combat in Natlan. The OnePlus S6T rendered at 872p resolution with an average frame rate of 60.74 FPS. What's really surprising is that both the total stutter count and severe stutter count are absolutely zero, rock-solid performance. The highest temperature reached was 40.2 degrees Celsius, and the average power consumption was still under 4.4 watts. This power consumption performance is even better than the models equipped with the Dimensity 9000 Plus and Snapdragon 8 Elite that we tested in our previous terminal comparison videos. Since 60 frames per second is no problem, we also went ahead and tested Genshin Impact with both super frame rate and super resolution enabled. At this point, the rendered resolution increased to 1272p, which is about a 45.9% improvement over the native 872p, and the frame rate was doubled as well, putting even more strain on the device. As a result, the number of severe stutters also increased a bit. The device's maximum temperature and average power consumption both increased, but overall, the average frame rate of 120.3 frames per second is still excellent. And although there was a slight increase in latency, the immediate payoff is the dual buff of higher refresh rate and resolution, which is clearly noticeable. For demanding games like Zenless Zone Zero and Honkai Star Rail, power consumption of the 8 Gen 5 in these scenarios was a key interest. Unfortunately, higher resolutions are currently locked, so we tested current settings. Results are in the image, so no further detail here. Since the OnePlus S6T features an ultra-high refresh rate of 165 Hz, it naturally supports running many popular FPS games at a full 165 frames per second, such as Arena Breakout, Call of Duty Mobile, and Crossfire, among others. After all, no one ever complains about having too high a frame rate. Every time I think that 60 frames per second is enough, or that 120 or even 144 frames are sufficient, I always end up being proven wrong by the even higher and smoother frame rate experience. Going back to 60 frames per second after that, the difference feels huge. This shows that the widespread adoption of high frame rates in gaming is bound to be the next big trend. Whoever gets a head start will be the first to attract users. That was a bit of a tangent, so coming back to performance itself, what do you think about the gaming and power efficiency performance of the OnePlus S6T and Snapdragon 8 Gen 5? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Maxing out performance and frame rates is certainly satisfying, but if the battery can't keep up, it's hard to call the user experience good. Alright, the OnePlus S6T also has impressive battery life. For specific details, you can check out our previous video where we covered things like the remaining battery after 5 hours, total time until the battery runs out, charging duration, and other features in great detail. With long-lasting power as a foundation, an outstanding display ensures that every bit of battery is put to good use. The OnePlus S6T is equipped with a 6.8-inch LTPS flat display with a PPI of 405 and a maximum refresh rate of 165 Hz. Using lab standards, we'll test this screen. Manual brightness is 775 nits, but brightness uniformity needs improvement. Global peak brightness reaches 1800 nits. No more poor visibility excuses for outdoor gaming. Color temperature is 7229 Kelvin, cooler, aligning with Asian visual preferences. Color uniformity is 97.74%, no inconsistent warm or cool tones across the screen. In terms of color accuracy, it performs best in professional mode. Lastly, the blue light peak for eye protection falls at 461 nanometers, which is outside the generally recognized range. The dimming solution uses DC-like dimming at high brightness and high-frequency PWM at low brightness. Overall, this screen continues OnePlus's tradition of high standards. It's definitely a flagship-level gaming display. The OnePlus S6T features two cameras, wide and ultra-wide lenses. The main camera features a 50-megapixel MX906 sensor, a 1.56-inch sensor, an f1.8 aperture, and OIS. Here, we've also obtained quantifiable and analyzable data based on objective metrics from the imaging laboratory. First, in resolution, the OnePlus S6T scores 1536 in strong light and 1321 in low light, with a 14% decay ratio. Its overall performance is quite close in both conditions. For color saturation, it measures -4.1 in strong light and -4.9 in low light. This is similar to Ace models we've tested, showing a restrained approach to color separation. Next, we use the TE276 dead leaves chart to assess detail rendering. Values of 1042 in strong light and 896 in low light are also in line with standards for devices at this level. Of course, objective data is just one aspect. The importance of algorithms in complex outdoor scenarios goes without saying. Here, we've taken multiple sample photos for your reference. Overall, this MX906 sensor is sufficient for most everyday scenarios, and it also delivers good image quality at night. In addition to the large battery and new processor, the design of the OnePlus S6T is also highly competitive. The front features a visually balanced four-sided symmetry with comfortable aesthetics, moderately curved corners, and combined with a weight of around 215 grams, the device feels good in the hand and should be acceptable to most people. In terms of color options, there's the bright and light shadow green, the electric purple with a wave textured back, and the deep understated flash black, catering to people with different style preferences. Of course, I chose purple, the choice of a real man. All the color variants feature a low saturation matte finish, offering a delicate feel and resisting fingerprints. If you're an anime fan or a heavy mobile gamer, hey, this Kamisato Ayaka custom edition might be coming straight for your wallet. Aside from its good looks, the OnePlus S6T is also quite practical. In terms of external features, it supports ultrasonic unlocking, has comprehensive protection ratings, and doesn't miss out on customizable buttons. Alright, at this point, we've pretty much covered everything about the OnePlus S6T. Overall, the OnePlus S6T is first and foremost a model that excels in battery life. Secondly, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 it debuts with is not inferior to the Snapdragon 8 Elite in terms of overall performance, and even has a notable advantage in energy efficiency under low to medium loads. Finally, when you consider its refined craftsmanship, fast charging, protection, and balanced experience across multiple aspects, its overall product strength is definitely impressive, truly living up to its reputation as a new flagship performance choice. Alright, that's all for this video. This is YLab and I'm Xiaoran. For more device data, feel free to check out our YLab mini program. See you in the next video.